Starting. I don't think we're okay. We are now live. All right, welcome everyone to Hat Day on Entrepreneurs Roundtable. So we, without realizing it, all I guess decided to wear hats today. So
And I'm in
really
my
quick,
princess room.
and he's in his princess room. He tried to say he was in my daughter's room, having tea with my daughter. That was very awful. So, oh, I should have said that live, should I? That was a private joke or something.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Anyways, no, actually, it looks like you are. That's why I almost believed you, except for I can see her out my window. So, anyways, really quick before we, today's gonna be an interesting day. I can tell you that right now. So, if you want some really awesome nuggets mixed into the middle of crazy hilarity, stick around. If you just want a really organized, concise, whatever this is, hangout, then go away because this is not gonna happen for you today. So really quick before we dive into this too much more, and go if you haven't already, go to facebook.com and join our little free private mastermind group, Entrepreneurs Roundtable. Just search it and we will add you. I've been adding one or two people almost every day. It's really awesome. So do it, join, and again, I like to say this is like 25% of the value of the Entrepreneurs Roundtable, the mastermind group being the other 75%. Okay, let's jump into this. So, as you may or may not have noticed if you read the description, today's supposed to be a hot seat with Gideon Walker. But we decided not to do that because we're all, well, I don't know about Mike, but I know Gideon and I are both in kind of weird moods, and we just felt like doing what was expected was kind of boring. So, instead, we're going to actually have a conversation, kind of blur the lines a little bit. We're going to start off talking about health. We're going to probably also get in a little bit to like motivation and willpower and doing what we don't want to do when we have to do it, or not doing it, that kind of thing. So a little background, Mike Doyle, actually, I'll let him maybe even give some more of his personal background, but he has started doing health coaching. He has a blog called Paleo Riot, if this is the first time you've ever seen this. And he's begun to do, like I said, health coaching. So he's been working with me for, like, I don't know, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 2 years, something like that. And we had a really good conversation yesterday. We meet on Mondays. We hadn't talked for a couple weeks, and kind of was helping me get back on track with, made a lot of progress, and then I had a few things that had lapsed, and some stuff I'd stuck with, and some stuff not as much. We had a great conversation, and in it, even though it was supposed to be like a health conversation about like eating paleo and working out, we probably spent like almost half of it talking just about like habits and creating healthy patterns and how to deal with like not feeling like it. I was talking like to him about some stuff, not just not wanting to eat the right food or go out and work out, but how I haven't really wanted to like work on my business. I've not really been doing a lot, and we just kind of talked about that whole topic, and then getting kind of caught wind and was like, heck yeah, let's talk about that today. And so yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're gonna get right into this because Gideon may or may not be able to make it through the entire. Well, we don't even have an hour left, but the entire call, because he may have to jump off to something. So he's already got his pen ready just in case he has to jump on a call or something. Google needs help with their email marketing and whatnot. So.
Where do we get that?
Yeah, Walker in the house. All right, who wants to start off first with health? Mike, do you want to give a little add this to this? Give a little bit of your background, like in as quickly as possible, your kind of story of how you got into health stuff and whatever else you want to say before one of us gets you off.
Sure. I got into health about 4 years ago. Do I have an echo, or is that just me?
A little bit.
Let me turn this down. So I got into health a couple years ago, and when I was married at the time, and we were looking to get in health, so we found CrossFit, and we joined it because I had been doing the gym for all through my 20s, and I would show up, and I hated it. I'd show up, I'd get up at 7 in the morning, I'd go, I'd get on a treadmill, and, I'd be like, all right, cool, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, I'd hate it, and I was like always trying to find something that really spoke to me, and when we found CrossFit, it was just something because it was just, I'm not a fan of doing the same thing over and over again, and I like the aspect of doing CrossFit because it was always, every workout's always different, and the problem was that I was still eating crappy, so I was like, all right, well, if I work out all the time, I could still eat like shit and drink beer all the time, and it's not going to do anything. And what I've done, I always do or have done through my 20s, is I always documented my progress. So I'd take a picture of myself and then I'd compare it to myself. Like, you know, I take a picture like every month or every 2 months, and I'd compare and see like where I got. And I noticed after months and years I wasn't getting anywhere. And then finally me and my ex-wife at the time, we started doing this thing called paleo, and we started cutting out things, and I started getting more results. Fast forward to now 4 months when I left to go on the road, because I've sold everything and then went on the road, and I was like, all right, let me try to keep healthy. So I've been keeping a healthy lifestyle on the road, and what I found is that when me and Jared were talking about this, it's, you know, you can only get to a certain point by doing what you're doing. So if you're exercising and eating crappy, you're going to get to a certain level. But if you're like exercising and eating like shit, you're like, but I want like a six-pack stomach. It's like you can't do that. So then it's like, all right, well, what do I need to cut out? And what I've been trying to find is kind of like body hacking. I'm like, well, what are the things I'm eating poorly and need to cut out? And so about 5 weeks ago, I decided to do a 20-week challenge with no alcohol. And that's my next biggest thing. So that's been getting me to the next level. And then I've incorporated strength training, basic strength training. So right now I'm just eating really healthy, cut out booze, and just doing like a simple strength program before I get back into CrossFit after the 12-week program's over. So it's kind of like a summary of just me currently. Mm-hmm. And I'm also traveling around the country, so it's like trying to mix that in. So it gets a little funky and difficult, but it's at the same time it's good because people give me these super fucking lame excuses all the time. You know, the but, the ifs, the yeah, but, and it's just like, that's just your way of saying you just don't want to show up. So when someone tells me they can't do something, I'm like, you know, I just drove for 3 days, 4 days straight from California up to Portland, Oregon, and I figured out how to be healthy the whole time. You know, like, yeah, I fell off a couple times, but everyone's excuses are, they mean shit to me. They totally mean shit to me. So that's kind of like my summary at where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And then obviously, you know, we've talked before. I've been working with you, so I've been cutting stuff out, and exercising more, but also trying to figure out how to change to make that mind shift.
That mind shit.
Mind shift change. So that way it's not just like because I've done the 4-hour body and lost weight, but then it was like, okay, but now I'm tired of it, and you know, I was just changing the way I perceive myself. In fact, we talked about that a lot yesterday, and I'd like to dive into that in a minute, but the whole how you see yourself and how you can change that and how that can affect your life. But and then for Gideon, I don't know, is it fine if I say what you're in the process of doing, or do you want to say what you've been doing, or if you maybe don't want to talk about it, just maybe give a quick little summary of your kind of health / whatever, how you work that in with your business, or if you lacking and whatever, your thoughts on the whole health thing.
Yeah, I'm like seriously lacking in it. I was the same way, like, dude, like I would like drink like almost like every other night. And like I'm starting to see I had like a huge alcohol problem. And so like I would drink at home a lot, so I would just buy like a 6 or a 12 pack and like just drink it, drink it at home. I mean, it was cheaper than going out to the bar, right? And so now like I stopped drinking at home, like even wine. So there's like no alcohol in my house anymore.
Wow.
So like I'll probably have like a drink maybe like once or twice a month. That seems to have helped a lot. I used to weigh 180. I'm at like 168 now.
Oh.
Over the past like 3 months.
Was that just from booze, or was that like other stuff?
I think booze, stress, going through a really stressful event. So like now I've been kind of like I have like coffee in the morning. I'm doing like the intermittent fasting, and then having like a protein shake in the afternoons, and then I'll have like some like chicken or greens and things like that. Like just eating more healthier and more protein, more butter. And I just quit smoking like yesterday or 20 hours ago.
So why did you quit anyway? Like what, you kind of just out of nowhere, you're like, hey, I quit smoking. It's like, what was the final straw?
Oh, like being like the 50th time I've tried quitting smoking.
Yeah, like what was it? Like, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it today.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept talking about it, but I was like, I had 2 cigarettes left from yesterday, and then I smoked those right when I got home, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I don't know.
You
I don't
just
know if I'm doing the right thing. I'm like having major withdrawal symptoms right now, right? Like I'm like twitching and like I didn't even want to be here for the show.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go to bed.
No, and that's cool that you're pushing through. That was actually kind of what made us change our topic last minute. Is one is we didn't want to be like put you on the hot seat when you're like struggling with withdrawals, and two because we're like, hey, you know what? We're all kind of, I kind of think of Mike as more of the expert. I know this particularly too. So after our call yesterday, I kind of talked to you, Mike, about how, you know. I'd cut out soda and energy drinks, and slowly the soda and the sugar really is what it is, has come back. Because sometimes, most of the time, it manifests as soda, but sometimes it was other things. It's like, you know what, like I need something sweet or whatever. Even though I don't really eat candy, and I don't eat ice cream anymore, as of like 2 weeks ago when I found out that they put antifreeze in it, so I'll never touch ice cream again unless it's homemade. So,
Really?
yeah, like my wife read this whole article because I was like, what? And basically, you know how like you make homemade ice cream and then it's like awesome and then you freeze it and like you could shoot it with a gun and it's just barely gonna dent it. It's like super rock hard. Have you ever
Just
had
right.
homemade ice cream?
Oh, homemade ice cream. No, no.
I thought homemade ice cream was supposed to be like soft.
It is, but when you freeze it and then when you try to eat it the next day, it's like rock hard. Like my I grew up with my parents making homemade ice cream, and my dad would like they'd have it in like little Tupperware things, and he'd pull them out, and you'd have to like microwave it for like 20 seconds to soften it a little bit because it's like rock hard.
Oh,
But
wow.
regular ice cream is not that way. And my wife was reading it's because they actually put antifreeze, and it's a variation. It's not literally the exact same stuff they put in the car, but it's a different kind. And so what it is if you drink like car antifreeze, it would kill you like right there. This stuff kills you over like 30 years or 20 years, like over your life apparently, and gives all these other disorders. So she read for like 10 minutes this whole article about this, and I was like, I am never eating ice cream again. And so I officially, a week and a half.
I don't know, man. I mean, I would do some serious research into that and check other
That's
sources.
amazing.
I did. I listened to her talk about it for 10 minutes. That was my serious research, and it was so revolting. But I mean, Mountain Dew is the same way. They've got that whatever in it that's like super horrible. There's all these different things, and it's just we get used to it, right? Because it's unless we're Mike and we go to like find all the healthy restaurants around us, all the healthy food places to go and eat greens. I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I don't remember what I was saying with that, but anyways, okay, I don't. Oh yeah, that's right. So the whole sugar thing, right? So we were talking, yesterday about that, and he was like, okay, so he kind of was working on that. He's like, instead of, because we did this thing to where I was only able to drink 3 either like Mountain Dews or Rock Stars a week, and I was able to stop drinking all energy drinks. Like to this day, I go in a grocery store or wherever and I see one. It doesn't. I'm like, whatever. In fact, I was telling Mike, I was like, most of the time I imagine myself drinking it. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would get sick, and I could probably not even drink half the can and throw up and have to like just pass out or something like that. I don't have no desire, but somehow the soda, and I was telling him specifically Coke, like crept back in and I started drinking it again. So he was kind of helping me work on that again. Like, okay, well, how about this? He's like, don't try to cut it out 100%. We'll do the same thing. You can have 2 a week at specific times, and we'll kind of wean you off of it, just like with the energy drinks. So today, I really wanted, like, I've been drinking nothing but water. I've been drinking pretty much over a gallon a day. My goal's been to do a gallon. I've been drinking about a gallon plus a glass most days. I've been feeling really good. But I really wanted, so we have friends over and it's a bunch of kids, and my wife's like, hey, can you go get some Little Caesars pizzas for everyone? And it comes with like a
That's the
2-liter.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the worst, but it's cheap and it's other people's kids.
No, I mean like that's the worst when like that happens. Like I'm like trying to
yeah.
eat healthy at home, and then my wife's like, "Oh, let's get the pizza for boys." I'm like, "Fuck, man, come on!" Like,
Well, my wife and I just had a conversation how we both are pretty much done with pizza. And I was like, now that I've started eating healthier, like certain things of my old ways are nauseating. So like it just now pizza I can only eat it every so often. So she said go get it. It comes with this 2-liter, and I was like really wanting to drink some of it, and I was like, okay, today's not the day to do it, and two, it's not even like I'm specifically designated just those Coke bottles because that's what will hit like the temptation. So that's all I'm allowing myself for those two. I want to be really
Well,
strict with it.
real quick though, like let's talk about that. So, and this could actually transfer over to Gideon, and I think anyone watching. By the way, I don't think you actually shared on the Facebook group the link for this. I think they have the old link, by the way.
I updated it in my comment, yeah.
Okay. The biggest thing I found to be helpful is giving yourself a giant penalty or calling yourself out. So when I actually, you know, I'm a casual smoker. I was a casual smoker, and in January I was like, all right, I need to take a, or I think it was December. I was like, I need to take a big step to quit smoking. So I put like I posted on my blog. I said it's the $50 challenge, and I said that for the next couple months, if anyone knows about this challenge and they see me smoking, I will PayPal you $50. So this kept me in check, and it was like, all right, well, it'll keep my friends from. My friends will be like, hey man, you can't smoke. Actually, my friends were like, hey, you want a cigarette? Because they wanted $50. My friends are dicks, and so, but it kept me in line, because I knew that if I was out in public and I was smoking and anyone saw me, then I'd, you know, have to get penalized by $50. And then, yeah, like when I was home alone, I could have, but I didn't. And then, you know, after a couple months, I like kind of fell back in a routine, and I started traveling. And then when I was in Texas, I started smoking a little bit. And I was listening to this audiobook about, you know, really when you want to do something, you have to take massive action. So I literally I bought a pack. I was in Austin. I pulled up to some like homeless dude on the side of the street, and I was like, "Hey, do you smoke?" He's like, "Yeah." And he like gave him this thing, but I took 2 Parliaments out. And when I started driving from Austin to Phoenix, I had the first one. I was listening to this CD, this audio, and I had the second one, and I took a picture of the last one I had, and it's in my phone. And I took a picture of my hand with a cigarette, and I was like, "This will be the last cigarette I smoke." And I don't know if that's going to be for the rest of my life. I don't know, but every time I've wanted one since then, I've actually, you know, I haven't looked at the picture, but I know I have it, that it's on my phone, is like, this was going to be the last thing I was going to do. So it kind of keeps me in line. And with the drinking, that was a big one, because for a really long time I was like, all right, I kept saying I wanted to quit drinking, quit drinking, and then I kept reading these articles about there was this one guy from Australia or something, and he quit for 5 years. But it started off as a 30-day challenge to himself, and he ended up going 5 years, and he got all this crazy weight loss and everything like that. And I read about this college girl, this girl who was in college, college student. She quit for a year while she was in college, and I was like, holy shit, like how did she do that in college? So what I did is I posted on Facebook on a Monday, and I'm like, as many likes as I get between now and midnight is how many days I will quit drinking. And I got 140 likes, so I was like, all right, so that's like 20 weeks that I'll quit drinking. But I penalized myself and said, I'll add a 0 to the end of that number, and that'll be how much money I would donate to a charity. So if I drink, I would pay $1,400 to a charity. Now, when I'm around people, you know, in these new towns, like no one really knows me, but it still keeps me in line, because sometimes I will see people that I know. But there's nights where I'm alone, and I still am not drinking. But for some reason on this drive, I'd be in the middle of nowhere. I'd be in like Cambria in California, and I was in Crescent City or something like that in Oregon, or in northern California. All I wanted to do was grab a 6-pack and start drinking, because I was in a hotel and by myself. I was like, oh, let me just like pound these. And I knew that if one day after the 20 weeks, if someone said to me, did you really do it? And if I knew that I drank one and I lied, then that was my name. Like, all I have is my word, and that keeps me in check. Because yes, when I'm by myself, I could totally cheat, but I'm not. And it's so fucking hard. After 30 days, it was easy, but now I'm going into the next month. It's a struggle for some reason. But it's the fact of that I would owe that much money, that I posted it on Facebook, that I threw it out there I was going to do it, and it's at the end of the day, all people have is their own integrity. So if I know that if I did drink one, and later on, let's say a year from now, people are like, how did you do that for 140 days? If I sat there and lied, like, that's, I don't know. I don't think I could really live with myself,
Yeah.
So it's like a balance of all that shit, but.
Yeah, and where my mind goes is like, one day sitting out, like as grandpa or whatever, and your grandkid comes up and is like, hey man, like grandpa, like I really need to quit, X, and you were such an inspiration because I've heard that story of how you went for all these days, and you're sitting there going like, crap, like I lied, like I didn't, like just that thinking back of like that regret of like your whole life, you're like, if only I had not drank that one night in the hotel room, how I wouldn't have to have this almost like this ghost haunting me for the rest of my life. That's pretty powerful. Putting it out there like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it helps too. It's like, that's exactly right. Like you almost letting people down, and if you even though you're not, like you eventually one day you would, because someone might get inspired by that and say like, I really needed something I needed something to inspire me to quit, and your story did it. And if I sat there, I was like, I fell off the wagon a few times, but I don't want to let them know it. Like, it loses its power, But I can look someone straight in the eye, because I suck at lying. If I could look someone straight in the eye and say, like, I did it, then that's really powerful,
Yeah, you inspired me. Like I told you yesterday, I bought that book, The Wild Diet, or whatever it was, Abel James, the podcast I've been listening to, and it's close to paleo. It's not 100%. Like I noticed there's a couple kinds of specific cheeses in there that were allowed there, but it's very much like I told you, so much so that he got a cease and desist letter from another blog that was a paleo blog, because apparently paleo is something that you can't be copy. I don't know, whatever.
What?
Yeah, he got a cease and desist order from this like paleo blog because they're like, I'm trademarking the word paleo and blah blah blah, and his diet was like so similar, and he would talk about paleo. But anyways, at the end of the book, it's crazy. Yeah,
that's fucking stupid.
It's like trying to take the word exercise. Like, hey man, I have an exercise blog, and you can't talk about exercise anymore. But whatever. So at the end of this book, so it talks about it. It talks about like why you should be eating essentially more of this paleo lifestyle or this raw diet, that he's talking about. And then there's like recipes, and then there's like some stories, motivational stories. But then at the end of it, there's this 40-day challenge. And I was telling Mike, I was like, after I read the book, I was like, I'm starting right now like this water challenge where I'm gonna just only drink water. That's gonna be like my step one. Is I'm just gonna give up everything else for basically indefinitely. I'm sure I'll have a few things, but like for sure for the next 30 days, and then I'm just going to make it like my default lifestyle. But then after that 30 days, and I've read the book, I'm going to do this 40-day challenge that he has. And in the back of my mind, I'm already struggling, like, it's going to be really hard. And it's like, how am I going to make it through it? And you just inspired me. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it out there publicly. I'll put up some sort of repercussion, whether it be financial or I get rid of one of my prized possessions behind me or something, I give it away or something that will really hurt the most.
Yeah.
And then the same thing, and not so much. I'm not really worried about losing the money or whatever it is, but to me, like what you said is, you said you're going to do this for 140 days. I'm going to say I'm going to do it for 40 days. And yeah, I could just slip a couple French fries really quick, maybe off of a friend's plate if I'm out to eat or something. But knowing, wanting to be able to say no, I did it, and that whole legacy thing. And again, to me, just the image of like, Grandpa sitting there having to like keep up this lie and just being tired of having this lie, the story being told. I'm gonna totally do exactly what you did. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, like I literally I always sit at a bar when I eat, and it's weird because I do that in order like seltzer water or like a Sprite or something.
Yeah.
But I won't even get like a taste of an IPA, and I really want one so bad. I'll be like, oh, it's just a taste, and I'm like, no, I can't drink anything. It's like, God, I really needed to give myself some more leeway, but I was like, no, it's good, it's better this way. But yeah, man, I think like I think if anyone wants to do something where they challenge themselves, they have to throw it out there. And so I think that putting it out there for people to see that you're doing it, giving yourself a penalty, giving yourself a win as well, which I didn't really do, but I figured like my win's more weight loss. Mm-hmm. So I'm like busting my ass at the gym right now, and I'm like really looking at what I'm eating and trying to like tweak it some more. So that's the benefit, because I know that after doing this, that I'm gonna, my whole goal is just to basically have like abs, like that's and have them show, like that's
You
the goal of them.
you should have an IPA once you're done with this challenge.
Oh, I definitely
That's yeah. Yeah, like reward yourself, man. Like, it's I always remember this one quote from After the Sunset with Pierce Brosnan and somebody else. I don't know.
Okay.
It was just something that he said. It was like how do you stop temptation? It's like you yield to it. Like you don't just stop. You like slow down to it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why that just always stuck in my head. And like I saw that movie when I was probably like 10 or 11 years old or something like that, right? So yeah, dude, like you should reward yourself. Like I'm not saying that if I can go like 30 days without smoking a cigarette, I should have a cigarette, but I might have like a whole lot of alcohol one night, like something, I don't know, just to like, okay, I did it. I went 30 days, like
Yeah.
let's have, a little vice here and there.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think what inspires me is that you said you were drinking a lot, and then you have a drink like once a month. And the whole reason I'm doing this whole thing is really just for weight. It's just that level that I couldn't get past. And a buddy of mine said one time, he's like, if you're, and I think I said this multiple times, but like if you're here and you're just sustaining, so you work out all the time, and then all of a sudden you eat shitty, it's like you're kind of just balancing this line. He's like, sometimes you got to do the extreme and take that line and move it down to here, and then you're just sustaining this level. And that's what always kind of stuck with me. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. So do I see am I looking to quit for the rest of my life? No, but I'm just looking to control it to where I get to a certain level, like physically, and then I live there for a while.
Right.
And then I maybe do an extreme thing. But like, you just being like, yeah, it's a couple times here and there, like that I think is fine. But when you're a professional and you could drink like 8 IPAs at 8% alcohol and you still hasn't like really affected you, you're kind of like, you might want to I want to back off a bit.
Dude, I told you, man, today's not a good day.
No, I think that was perfect. Like he said, you might want to back off a little bit, and it ended. I almost think that we might just want to leave it there and put an apology and saying that we keep having issues, because that was a great conversation right there.
My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, some server.
I said server error. It was all of us. It killed the whole thing. We're done. We're not online.
This is live.
Yeah, it says live.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. We're back. Awesome. Cool. We can keep going then.
Go
ahead.
Let me just jump back into that. So basically, so I think that again, like me and Jared were talking about this, like you have to have a why. Like you have to have a reason why you're going to do something. It's the Simon Sinek thing with business, and that's just life in general. Like you have to have a real burning passion. You need a burning passion on want to lose weight. You need a burning passion on why you're creating your business, why you want to quit your job. And if you have a business, you need a burning passion about what you're selling. I think like it's either about your product or it's about what you're selling your product is going to give you, like a lifestyle, and that's what's going to keep you going. So with the health, you need to figure out what that is. You need to give yourself a real huge, like you got to take massive action to get that goal. And it's a good thing also to surround yourself with people who have had a lot of success. So I'm doing this this weight lifting program now. It's called Strong Lifts, and this guy is it's a simple program, just about squats, deadlifts, bench, strict presses, and bent over rows. It's real fundamental movements. And this guy just has a website. He says, this is what you do. It's the simple program. And he sends emails every day, and it just keeps me motivated. And he talks about all these different aspects of why it works. So surrounding myself with that it gets me fired up every day, because I'm like, oh man, like I could do this instead of cardio, and and it's going to get me gains. Like I could do this instead of stupid bicep curls, which are, you know, they don't do anything. They're not like a functional movement. Like you don't just, it's not like an everyday movement where you sit there and you're like, oh, I'm just going to bicep curl this plate. You know, it's like, you know, it's like deadlifts, or you pick a box up, a push press, you put a box on a shelf, and you can do that all day, all day
He also
long.
has an app that helps you through it, because you told me about it when
Yeah.
I checked it out. And I wasn't able to find how to get his email list. It says on my phone, and I never could find, so I have to go back on my computer and try it. But I did get his app and download it and look through it, and it's kind of like the same stuff he teaches, but it seems like in a easier to get to package. So when you're at the gym, you can just pull it out and look at what you need to see.
Yeah, and the guy just keeps it around, and it's all focused on that. So he doesn't branch outside of that, and so he's like, oh, well, you know, he's like, just do these functional things and just keep it simple. And so surrounding yourself with people who have had success is a really good thing as well. So it's like you want to kind of obsess over what it is you're doing. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, that's good. I was gonna say, maybe before it, cut out, like if we wanted to shift a little bit from some of the specific weight loss stuff to the actual kind of like the motivation side, because then we got Gideon, who he's talking about how like, oh, I don't really want to be here, but I'm gonna do my best. And then I was talking to you yesterday, like, oh man, sometimes I just when it's 100-something degrees, I was thinking about this when you said about excuses. I was like, it's 100-something degrees, and I don't want to get up, and I don't want to go for a jog, I don't want to go for a walk in the morning, or I just want to lay around and do whatever. And I know this also crosses over to, business, for the Entrepreneur Roundtable. There's times when you're like, I need to set up, I'm going to send 100 emails today to contact people. And you get through like 15, you're like, I'm kind of done. I think I want to go do something else. You're like, I got to get through these. So maybe we shifted over a little bit from health specifics to kind of that motivation / willpower / habits, creating good habits, whatever it is you want to call it. We'll start that conversation up.
Yeah, man.
I actually have nothing to say about that. I am not
the fact that you're still here right now it's pretty good, man. Even if you're probably like, I'm getting nothing out of this, I literally want to like jump out of my window right now, but it's like you're still here, so that's like saying a lot.
No, I just mean that I have like, I'm not the best like role model or spokesperson about motivation and doing the work. I am like very random. I do work when I feel like it. I can't sit my ass down at the same time every morning to write, even though that's what I keep hearing and I'm told that's like how you get shit done, but I can't do it.
Even in that, though, because you're basically saying, I don't have a method to get work done. I just work when I feel like it. But I think that almost is, I've kind of been looking into that lately, its own method. Like, I know, I'm pretty sure that's, I heard Kimra Luna talk about in one of her periscopes, is someone asked her, actually I think I asked her, I said, hey, like, do you have a morning routine? And she was like, no. And then it kind of went on. I think someone else asked her about like her business hours and stuff, because she's got 3 kids and newborn, and she's like, I work when I want to work. She's like, that's the whole point of having a business. Like, I don't get up and I have to be at my desk by 9 o'clock and I have to work till X time or whatever. She's like, if that was like the whole reason I went through all the crap to start a business, is so I could do that. So like, if I don't feel like working and I feel like playing with my kids, I go play with my kids. If I feel like getting work done, I get work done. And you can't argue that she's not massively successful.
Yeah.
So, $800 and something thousand in like 10 months or 11 months of starting a business, like, so there are almost different strategies, and that's something I've really been looking into. And I don't think it works so much for working out, but for business, it depends. If you get motivated twice a month, then probably not. But if you get motivated, every day, most days of the week, and you're able to get really productive work done, and you just have that list of, this is what I need to get done next, and there's not like super time-sensitive stuff, that could work for you. It's not necessarily that you have no clue about getting stuff done, because you get stuff done, and you are inspiring. Like, I read your emails, I see your stuff. Like you said, you're more fluid in it, and maybe that works for you, and maybe that's fine.
Do you feel, Gideon, that like you don't sit down and do it every day because you want everything you do to be a home run?
No, I don't know. Like, just some days I just really don't feel like working. Like I don't feel like doing anything productive. I'm just like, so I'll just find stuff around the house to do, like errands or like I'll fix something, do the laundry.
Do you feel like you have to? Do you feel like you have to accomplish something though every day?
No, I used to. I used to feel like that. I used to write like 3 things I want to get done for the day, right?
Not. Okay, okay. Yeah, sorry, go on.
But now it's like I don't do that anymore. I'm like, what do I feel like working on? Do I feel like writing an email? Do I feel like writing the autoresponder? Do I feel like making a phone call? Like, whatever.
Well,
I
what
just
about like, but non-business though, just in general, like you said, like I'll do the laundry, I'll do something else. Do you feel that you have to get that's your way of just accomplishing something?
no. I mean, I used to like playing video games, right? And like I don't like doing that anymore. So like doing the laundry and stuff like that, that's like my like thing that I do with my free time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it
So
does.
like I don't feel like I have to get anything done in particular. I'm just like there my day kind of has a set schedule after 2 p.m. It's like I help out at the cleaners, then I pick up the kids, then I feed the kids and I take care of them like and then in the morning I take the kids to school, then I have like from like 8 to 12 to like get shit done, whatever it is that I want to get done. So there are just some days I just don't feel like it's just been lately, like or I just feel like I don't feel like really getting anything done, that's gonna like push me towards success or I don't know.
Do you feel
If
like
you had, sorry, go,
I was
Jared.
gonna say, do you feel like you're getting behind because of that, or do you feel like when you do feel like it, you're able to like get enough work done for it to catch up and it evens out, and so you don't care, or is it like yeah, I'm getting behind and I just don't care, or I gotta figure this out, or like kind of
Yeah,
where
I,
are
I
you?
yeah, I kind of just don't care right now. I'm
It happens, man. It happens, dude. Like I felt that way this morning. Like there's certain days, like today. I mean, I was like, I got 2 things I got to do. I got to do a business coaching call this morning with Jay from the group because I was like, hey man, I just want to like give you some advice to help you out. So like we're doing like a month and see if I can get anywhere with him. And then I was like, I was gonna do a coaching call with someone else, but they were like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I was like, all right, so I don't have to do that. And then I have this, and after this, I'm just kind of like, all right, I don't feel like doing shit. I might edit some photographs. I might write a blog post. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I just feel like I think I can decide with you, Gideon. There's this point of it's either, and I was going to ask you this before I kind of went off in that little rant, is that if you had people emailing you left and right, and you were at the point of the success in your head you wanted to be at, do you think that would give you more motivation to get up, or do you feel like you're kind of just fed up because you're trying so many things and you're not at that point of where you want to get to, and that's what's bogging you down?
I think I'm just tired, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just you walk so far with no end in sight, and then you're just tired. You just need to take a break. And
Yeah.
I think I just need to like get away from everything. I thought about like just turning my phone off for a week. Not to be like, all hipsterish about it, but like just to do it, just to like turn off my phone. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go a week without a phone and just like kind of be more present, and like the things that I'm doing and be more aware of like my surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went a month without Facebook once.
I missed you during that.
Did we know each other then?
Probably not. I'm just being.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
See what
yeah,
Facebook brought you though? It brought you Jared.
Yeah. See, don't give a
I'm so
Facebook.
blessed. Now I went 30 days without Facebook, just to try it, like a 30-day challenge thing, and I did it. And I like deleted Facebook off my phone. I blocked
Yeah.
Facebook, from my internet. And I found out that instead of like doing Facebook, I replaced it with Google Plus or
And you were the-
Diablo.
And you were the only one there.
Yeah.
I don't know why you were so adamant about Google Plus a couple years ago when I first met you.
He's
Yeah,
like, this is
I
great.
spent
There's
a lot of time
nobody
with it.
here. There's nobody here to talk to me.
Yeah. It's exactly what I wanted. Just everybody just leave me alone in a social network. Uh,
No, man, I can relate. Like this last week of driving, my favorite thing about this whole nomading thing is that the long drives are the greatest thing ever. I mean,
Mhm.
so I think you should possibly do that. Or, I mean, obviously it's probably almost completely impossible because you've got kids and your wife.
No, fuck it, I can do it.
I'll be honest, I would probably just pick a location and that's about 10 hours away and drive straight there and either drive with no music, get an audiobook that's inspiring because that's what's helped with me, and just drive. And about 2 hours in, an hour in, 3 hours in, it just starts to click. So like this last week, driving from Santa Monica to Portland was just incredible. Plus I got to drive through the redwoods and all that stuff, and it was just like, holy shit. But it helps. It helps get you reset. And as you're driving, you get that motivation, like, I want to do all these things, I want to do these things. And it just, sometimes you need to reset because I'm like you, man. Like, this shit burns me out a lot.
Yeah.
And actually the question about the whole success thing is because, I'm trying all these different techniques to kind of get more of an income coming in. And it's not just like rolling in, it's just like here and there is a hit, but it's not this constant about these success stories we keep hearing about. And that's what I'll be like, fuck, man, I'm so sick of this shit, I'm so sick of trying. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should get a job. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to get a job because I don't want to work for anyone. Then I'm like, what the hell am I going to do sometimes, And then I need to like clear my head, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm like back in the game. But I think this goes back to the whole burning out thing.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm there with you, Gideon, too, is where I'll be like, like the last couple of weeks, honestly, like I think last week I had a couple days where I was just fired up and I got a bunch of stuff done, but I've really also just been struggling with this, and it's like a cross between like what you're saying, just like I have that just apathy of like, I don't really want to do anything. I'm kind of just want to sit here or,
It seems like you work a lot, though, Jared.
I do, because I do. And because, remember, I talked about that whole last episode, I think, that like was ingrained in me with like, that work ethic. I was just talking about my wife this morning, actually. I was like, I said? It was something along the lines of like, I made the comment of how I needed to get a bunch of stuff done today because I didn't really do anything yesterday. But then I was like, well, actually, I did. I had 2 phone calls that were like, could open up doors to like some really awesome stuff down the road.
Nice.
And I was like, so why am I saying that I didn't really do anything? And I was like, I just have this thing ingrained in me where even if I did these, like I said, these 2 calls that could open up amazing opportunities, but because I wasn't physically like actively doing something for like 8+ hours, I feel like I didn't do any work yesterday. Even though that what I actually did was more probably impactful than the last 2 weeks of like my recording training videos and setting up sales funnels and setting up my autoresponder and stuff, which is going great. I'm getting like opt-ins. I haven't made any sales off of it yet though. So it's like at the end of the day, which one is more? And I told her, I was like, I really need to work on that mindset of like where I'm like only count the day as a win if I feel like I put in manual labor. That's like a job mindset. Like, this isn't a job. And so I was like, I caught that, and I was like, I really need to work on this. And so yeah, I do work a lot, but at the same time, Mike, and then I switched back to over like feeling like you, to where it's like I'm trying this and trying that, and then it's like sometimes I feel stretched too thin because it's like, okay, with BizDev Heroes, I've got a couple different things that it could be, and I'm kind of pursuing too many of them, and I've already scaled back. So I've had this conversation with you guys of how I try to do too much at the same time. And sometimes I feel myself just wishing I could take something normal and use all the great marketing stuff to do that, like something like, we talked about a t-shirt business or something like that. Or I was listening to The Alchemist this morning. I was mowing, getting the yard cleaned up because my kids have friends coming over, and so you recommended The Alchemist, and I told you it's in my wish list, and you said make it your next one. So I was listening to it, and the kid is like, finds himself just at a crystal shop, and he's like implementing all these strategies to help the owner, and I was like, no one goes, my dream in life is to have the best crystal shop, most likely. But he found himself in that situation doing something normal, and he excelled at it. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, that like just picking that one thing. And so it's like, maybe I need to go back and trim again. Maybe I need to cut down some of the stuff of what BizDev Heroes is. Maybe I make it just about this. Maybe it's just the hangouts, and I spend all my time promoting them. I can go back and edit them and get the nice bumpers and put them on iTunes. I can book guest hosts with us as experts for stuff. I can market them, and maybe I'd be happier if all I did was focus on this show. And I didn't have a YouTube show I'm also trying to launch that's taking tons of time. I didn't have all these training videos I was trying to do.
Yeah.
What would my life look like at that point? So I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm kind of in the middle between you two. But to answer your question, Gideon, like, I do work a lot, but a lot of times it's not productive, and a lot of times I feel like it's almost self-sabotaging, because I'm like, okay, so I just forced myself for the last 3 days to put in productive time and work. But what if instead of doing that, like, let's just say 10 hours, right? So let's just, I'll round up a little bit, because I haven't been doing 10 hours a day for over a month. So let's just say, though, I was doing back when I was doing 10 hours a day. What if I, instead of like pushing through those 30 hours and getting it done because I'm disciplined and I was raised to have a good work ethic, what if I said, I don't want to do this. I haven't wanted to do it for a couple days now. I'm looking into the future. I don't think I'm going to want to do it anytime soon. Why am I going to even do it? Why don't I just drop it and then find what I really want to do and go do that? And with that, I'm out of words, so I turn back over to you guys.
Yeah, man, I agree. It's sometimes, out of all the shit that I'm doing with my blog, because my main goal right now is just to live off my blog 100%, because that means that I get to get up in the morning, I get to work out, I get to eat, come home, crank music, cook, eat healthy, blog about some shit, go and take pictures. That is like all I want to do, and then have income generated from that, And I'm like, well, how? And my biggest struggle is like, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? And you guys are helping me out with that, because like Jared talked about the health coaching. I was like, I do health coaching, and so it's like you meet your own calls, and Gideon's helping me like create like a funnel system to get people to do this whole make some noise challenge that I've got, and I'm trying to narrow down the target. And I like all these things. And then my favorite, the easiest thing I'm doing is interviewing people on how they stay healthy. And I'm like, I just find people that inspire me. I email them like, hey, can I ask you some questions? They're like, sure. And it's constant content on my blog. And it's really easy. I email them the questions. They email them back. It takes me about a half hour. I post on my blog. I send them out. And then I get like 200 to 500 views on my blog that day.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I'm like, how easy was that? Like today, I posted one of my good friends. When we graduated from high school, he wanted to get in the Marines, and he was 365 pounds, or 385 pounds, and he goes to get in the Marines, and he's going to any armed forces, and they're all like, nope, you can't, you're too heavy. And he's like this 19-year-old kid, and he's 6'7", 385 pounds, and he's just like, what am I going to do with my life? This is all I want to do. This is all I want to do. And I watched him do this when I was younger. So he goes to the Marines, and the guy's like, if you drop 20 pounds, you'll get in. So he starts researching, like, how am I going to lose 20 pounds? How am I going to do this? And he started doing it, and he comes back, and the guy's like, all right, well, if you lose another 20 pounds, then we can talk. And he's like, fuck. So he could have given up right then, and that's kind of like The Alchemist. It's like your personal legend, It's like you get so close, and it pushes you more further away, but you got to keep going. So he, kept pushing at it. And within a year, and then he gets to the end, and he lost all the weight, but they're like, you need to do 3 pull-ups. And he was about 320 pounds or something at the time. Or no, he was 285 pounds at that point. And he's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, all I want to do is just get in the fucking Marines. And he finally got in, and when he graduated from boot camp, he was 215. So he goes from this super great guy, but just couldn't even run a lap around the track, to graduating from boot camp at 215. He ended up becoming one of the top gunners on the West Coast. He did 3 tours over in Afghanistan, or Iraq and Afghanistan. I think it was Iraq. He did 3 tours in Iraq. He's come back both times. He met his wife along the way. He's got 3 kids now. He lives in Vegas too, Gideon. And he just has a success story. So I posted, I was like, I want to start doing inspiring stories on my blog. And he reached right out, and I was like, holy shit! So today I have this story on my blog, and it's about him, and he wrote it, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, I should just start reaching out to people with inspiring stories and putting them on my blog and just, like, showing people how cool it is to, like, get off your ass and, you know, make things happen. Then I'm like, that's all I want to do. But then it's like, but then it comes down to, it's like, well, if I do all this, how do I make money? You know, how do I financially? And then it's like, fuck, you know, and
Well,
then you get stuck.
That's like Mixergy.
Yeah.
Just make it a subscription model for a health niche. His is entrepreneurs in business. You make it yours about health.
The thing I love this question, Mike, because I keep going back and forth between that whole thing. Like, okay, so I did Knit Ideas because it was a way to make money. I wanted to get in a business, but it wasn't such a passion thing. But Biz Dev Heroes, I'm really passionate about. And the original idea to start was exactly what you just said. Is because I had a when I tried out when I was first doing the entrepreneur thing, and it was for like comic book artists. I did exactly what you said. Is I had a Google form of questions. Actually, I don't even think I had a Google form at first. I upgraded, but I just had a thing of questions. I'd copy and paste, and I'd email different guys. I go, hey, I love your art. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. I love to, do an interview, and I was trying to do a podcast, and then if a lot of the comic guys were like, well, I don't have Skype, or I don't have a good internet connection, I can't, So then I'd say, hey, that's cool, I have a text version I can do as well. I eventually put that on my blog where people could just submit it, and I'd get them, and I'd just send them the link and say, hey, you can go do this. Did exactly what you did. I'd spend about 30 minutes formatting it. I'd get some pictures off their blog, and I did the exact same thing. And so when I started Biz Dev Heroes, I came with the idea of business heroes, like heroes in business, like the average person, like just people who go out there and create a business and create their own income and change their lives and hire other people and change their lives, all because they did it. What if I just interview these people? And that's what was my original idea. Is like I will go back to the two things I enjoyed doing with the comic thing. Is I'll do a podcast where I interview business people. And they don't have to be like the Noah Kagans and the Tim Ferrisses. Like I'll go down and interview like the baker down the road, or like the guy who has the restaurant. There's a guy I know in town who has an amazing Mexican restaurant. He's got this great story from where he's from and how this really great story about how he was robbed one time. All these stories. I'm like, I will talk to people like that and either do the podcast. I got a flip camera and I got my cell phone. I could be out talking. I could just do a quick little video. That could be a blog post. And then I'll do the questions again, like you're talking about, where some people can email me, and I had someone do it when I first started, and at some point I got, okay, how am I going to make money? Okay, so now let me come up with these other things, and so the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been asking myself, like, do I care more about making Biz Dev Heroes profitable now because I need income, or I care more about this being the thing that 50 years from now I still love, even if I'm stupid rich? And it's that balance. And I keep thinking okay, so I have this path that I've put it on, and I keep asking myself, if I tomorrow woke up and either had a job or I had some or other sort of income, whatever it may be, would I still be doing Biz Dev Heroes this way, or would I go this way? And the answer is, well, I think I'd go this way, and I wouldn't have to worry about making money. And then the flip side of it, to bring back to what you're talking about, because we do live in a world where we have to have money.
Right.
It's if you can go long enough, you can learn that you could develop ways, like Gideon said, you could make it a subscription model once you had enough people going. Pat Flynn, if you notice, he doesn't sell on Smart Passive Income, really any of his, for the most part, his own stuff. He makes his money off of, he's got, hey, here's an affiliate link for hosting, here's an affiliate link for this. He's got 6 things he uses, and he does affiliate links.
Oh my God! I don't know why I did not give you guys my affiliate link for Active Campaign.
Oh, man.
People signed up for it. You should have. Well, and that's what he does, right? But now, obviously, that takes longer to develop. So then it comes down to, do I want money right now, and then I'll try to hopefully still love what I'm doing, or do I want to try to... So I'm really considering... Go, buddy. I'll be out in a minute. I forgot to lock my door.
Get out.
Damn kids.
Oh, thank you. Or do I want to reboot it and blow it up and reboot it and just focus on...
I think you should do both. So even though I'm trying to figure out how to establish the interview part on the blog, and it's already a success, I
Mm-hmm.
don't stop doing it because it's not making money. Like I'm still doing everything else inside. Like Drive 80. Like people are still emailing. I got 2 emails today. People are like, "Hey, what a project!" I emailed this guy back, and I'm like, "Awesome." And he just answered the questionnaire, and I was like, "I don't really know how big this business is." I'm like, "Hey, just before we talk, like what would I say?" I was like, "What do you guys typically spend on marketing and something else?" And he's like, we usually spend like $100,000 a year on marketing, and our company is about 200 people." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so let's talk now." So it's like I get these opportunities put in front of me because of business that I established 3 years ago. So that's doing it, but it's like that drive and passion is like, ugh. But I still needed to create revenue, which keeps me open to growing the Paleo Riot blog. And the interview part is easy because the thing that we always talk about is keeping it simple. So what I do is I follow a ton of inspiring people or health people on Instagram, and what I started doing is reaching out to them. I'm like, "Hey, would you like to be on my blog?" And then they're like, "Yeah." So then I send them my questions, they send them back to me, I put them on the blog, and it's like, then I get to share that story. And then I was like, well, let me get some really cool, inspiring stories. So then my buddy reaches out. So my point is that I'm not giving up on that. I'm still doing it and seeing where it leads to, which has now led to the inspiring part, which now leads to I could do the questionnaire. And now, while I'm in Portland, I'm going to fly around town and be like, do you have an inspiring health story? Because I'd love to get you on video. And then I could videotape it and put the video up there. And I'm like, so I'm doing the video part, which I love doing. I'm editing. It's just great content for the blog. It's sharing and inspiring people to like get off their ass and do stuff. And it's this whole thing. But I'm not getting paid for it. But I'm not giving up on it.
Yeah.
So it's like I have the generating income here from a business I created, but it's like I have to put in the time over here. So my thing to you is like I would keep doing that and just make it easy and just send them texts. Just send them the questions. That's it. Just do that simple thing and post once a week a new story. And then when you have time, go down to the baker and be like, "Hey man, I want to spotlight you on here."
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
Well, and I kind of came, like you said, like to do both. I kind of came to the realization, and honestly, a lot of this too is formalizing. Like, that's why I love these talks, is because I can think and think and think for days, and then I start talking to you guys, and like things start to become clear. And so that's why we decided to even start these in the first place. And to me, it's true because I've been spending so much time trying to get so much of the back end stuff, trying to get products and stuff, that I've neglected like the passion part of it. And I've got a couple things now. I got some training videos, like from talking with you, I had some ideas of some stuff to do, and it's like, what? I think what I'm gonna do is take the that product part of it and kind of put that in like a automated like a Gideon status, right? Where when I feel like it, I'm gonna work on it and I'm gonna get some awesome work done, and when I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force myself like I have to release this video today. Like I was gonna do like 4 a month. I was gonna put out these. I'm doing these shorter training videos. I'm gonna focus on the parts I like, because that's what I like. And I keep thinking back to 2011, a business I was doing. It was a entrepreneur business that never made any money, but like I was so passionate, I was so excited. I spent like all my waking time. I was like having to focus, like, okay, I have to take a couple hours off to go spend with my family because I was like so much. I was like, I want to get this plugin installed. I want to get this done. I want to get a new blog up there, and I want to go share that blog. I want to go ask for an interview, and I was so excited. And I was like, how do I get back to that? And at the time, I wasn't worried about trying to make money because I just believed it would come later after I got the stuff. And so, and now I've swung too much the other way, where I've gotten, I think, a little too smart for my own good. And so it's like I'm now trying to do all the sales funnels and lead pages and everything before I'm doing the part that I love. And I think I'm going to take a break from that. I've already got, like I said, an opt-in. I've got some stuff signed up already or set up already. I'm going to take a pause from that and go start putting most of my energy back in the part I love of doing the interviews and doing the content, putting more time into the show and finally getting the show into iTunes and all this kind of stuff, because that's what gets me so motivated. And then I can be like, you know what, I'm pumped up. I released a new episode on iTunes. I did this and this, had this great interview. I'm going to go and I'm going to create some of these videos I've been wanting to do, because now I have all this excitement and energy off of the fun stuff I've been doing. I'm going to go do some of the money work side and go put some of those up and send out an email. Hey, I got 3 new courses out, if anyone wants to buy one. When I say courses, I mean these short. I'm doing these like $5 training videos, these short videos. Not like, hey, I have 3 new courses I just did. So no, it's good. Like talking through this has been helpful for me too, of trying to balance that between just the drudgery of I got to get some work done and
Yeah.
the excitement of I'm in love with BizDev Heroes again, like I was with that one business.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing that got me into all this stuff was that when I was growing up, I was just playing in bands, and all we did was like we wrote music, we played shows, and we got in a van and toured. We didn't have sales funnels, we didn't have a manager, we didn't have all this shit, we didn't have Facebook, we had nothing. We just went out, we went to a club, we played, we left, and we came back, and then like 10 more kids would show up because the 5 kids who liked us or the 2 kids who liked us would bring back a couple friends, and then it would grow and grow and grow, and it was just word of mouth, and it was exciting, and we loved what we did. And I think sometimes that we all get too saturated because there's this whole movement right now for these entrepreneurs to do all of this trickery in a sense, like get lead pages and then make the script sound like this and really try to do this shit. It's like, why don't you just make something you fucking love? Like when Obey started, all he did, Shepard Fairey, just went around to cities and just tagged Obey everywhere, and all of a sudden became a movement. And now he just makes like a ton of money, and he has a t-shirt company and all these things. Like Johnny Cupcakes, he just started drawing cupcake designs on t-shirts. And then people gravitated towards that, and he just was like, all right, maybe I'll sell these. And then he starts selling them. Now he's got a shop in like Massachusetts, one in LA. But it was all just based on a passion. He didn't have a sales funnel. He didn't have this like video thing, and he had to say the right thing and hit the pain point right at the beginning, and then do this real long text and crap like that. It was just these people just keep making and making and making, and all of a sudden it happens because they had that passion behind it.
Yeah, it reminds me of something, again, back to one of Kimra's scope live streams. I don't know the terminology yet. I guess it's still new.
Scoping.
So she was scoping, and someone asked her about, the whole thing was like, hey, what should be like my next course? What are you guys interested in? Because I've got a couple ideas. I want to see what you guys are interested in. So there's like 200 or 300 people on there, and they're all like giving like, it should be this, it should be this, and one person said on sales, and she was like, I won't do anything on sales. She's like, because I don't know how to sell. She's like, I'm the worst person to talk about sales. She's like, if you look at my stuff, I don't really sell anything. I just put out all my content, and then people like what it is, and they like who I am. They want to find out more, and then like they dig around, and then like obviously she has lead pages, she has all the stuff that's set up, but like she doesn't do any kind of sales process. She's just like, this is who I am. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here. If you do like it, awesome. I want to help you. And she puts out a ton of awesome content. People gather, and then people go, this was awesome, and this was awesome, and what else do you have? And then they find what she has. And of course, again, she does have nice, stuff where it makes it easy, because you don't want to have to go through a crappy sales process of, clicking an ugly website and stuff. But what I'm saying is she doesn't have these like super methodical stuff, and she makes a ton of money just because of.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that's the key is to not sell. But what I'm saying is I think that because she's so true to herself and she puts out such good content, that doesn't matter, because people are finding a way to find her stuff. Just like that guy you showed me, I told you, I was like, I couldn't see where to opt into his email address, and you recommended him, which so obviously he reached you and you thought it was good, so you told me. I checked it out, and I looked through. I didn't read everything, but I looked through. I was like, this is like amazing stuff. Like I have to come back and read through all this when I have time. I was like, I'm going to opt in because I want his emails. Mike said they're good, and this stuff looks awesome. And I couldn't find it. So I'm looking around, I'm like, man, okay, I'm going to have to go to my desktop and do this. And so I made a note. I need to do this. And then, oh, he has an app. Let me download his app. I don't really need his app right now, but if nothing else, it will remind me to go back to his site and opt into his email list. And then I caught myself going, I don't even know what this guy looks like. Like, I saw a couple of videos on the site, and I'm not sure if that was him. I think it said it might have been a testimonial. So I'm like, I don't know what this guy looks like. I don't know if he's going to try to sell me anything. All I know is that off of 1, a referral, and 2, off of his content, like right away he goes, boom, here's the workout exercise.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and it's all here, and the reasons of why to do it. It's amazing. I wanted to give him my email address. I was like, literally, like, I'm going out of my way to try to find how to get on his list. And so it's like that idea of, not to say that you don't have to have like that, not to say that the sales and marketing doesn't help, because it does. And obviously you can just look at some of the stuff that Gideon's been showing, how he's been helping people in the open rates is great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I started out doing with video stuff, and I got really into visual effects, and there was a term called polishing a turd. And it was like when someone gets into like a crappy movie, it doesn't matter how good of like effects you can do. If they give you a crappy movie, and that's the whole idea, is like it doesn't matter how much you polish a turd, it's always gonna be a turd. It's
I used
never
to use
gonna be
that
attractive.
all the time back in the day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like all this marketing stuff is polished, but you have to have like a precious metal or a precious gem or a beautiful rock or something for it to matter. Like if you have a turd, you can polish all you want. You can connect lead pages to it all you want. It doesn't matter. You know, you have to still at the end of the day have the content like Mike's doing. And Mike could have the content and have none of the polish, and people are going to figure out how to get to him because they're going to read that article, and then they're going to read another article, and then they're going to see, hey, download these or see, here's some recipes, and here's a video of him cooking, and they're going to be like, I need to keep hearing from this guy, and he's going to start to grow. It may not be as fast as if he had the polish, but you can overcome that with awesome content and passion.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What are your 2 thoughts, Gideon? We kind of like saturated this with our lovely voices.
I'm just listening, man.
So at this point in the conversation, we're probably like over, but I don't give a shit.
We're right at the hour from when we actually went live, so we should wrap it up here.
I don't give a shit. I'll keep talking. I feel like this is probably one of the most raw and open roundtables we've done, and I think it's better that way.
Yeah.
So like,
you're a Richard, Mike.
You're a Richard. Jared's like, I don't get it.
No, I remember from last time we talked about Richard. That was 2 episodes ago, actually.
So, like, Gideon, I said in the beginning, when I was like, you were like, yeah, man, like, you know, you had some shit you had to do and whatever, and I was like, yeah, just get, like, push through it and get, like, you know, add your 2 cents. Like, what are your thoughts now about, like, what would your advice be about not wanting to do something and pushing through it? Is it worth it, or you're like, nah, I still don't give a shit?
It depends, man. You know?
Be honest. I could be totally wrong.
Like today's show, like I could have skipped it.
Yeah.
You know? Not to say that I don't like being on here. I'm just saying that I could have skipped it, you know? And there's some things that, like, you just kind of have to do. So, like, there's, I don't know how you feel, Jared, about the whole Michael Burnoff thing on his fast action thing or whatever.
Yeah, I have opinions, but I'll let you go with what you're saying and not hijack your show.
So, Jared and I took this class that we got complimentary from Nick Underwood's Live on Fire event in 2014.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we took this Michael Burnoff class, and so I think the one thing that I got the most out of it was, like, so you had, like, your negotiables and non-negotiables, right? So, like, there are things that are, like, non-negotiable, like, for me, which is, like, taking the kids to school, making sure they're fed, making sure they're safe, going to work, you know, helping out the wife, paying the bills, doing grocery shopping, you know, like, those are things that are non-negotiable, right? Like, things that you have to do. And then, like, the negotiable things are, like, you know, waking up on time in the morning, or getting your car fixed this week, but it's still running, so, like, you decide to get it done next week. Like, they're just things that are negotiable. Like, you kind of talk yourself out of from doing, right?
Right.
So those kind of things are, like, there are some things that you need to turn into non-negotiables in order for it to, like, actually get done. So, like, for you turn not drinking alcohol into a non-negotiable.
I gotcha.
Right. And it's only for the better. So, like, for today, like, this show was, you know, being on the show today, that was something that I could have made into a negotiable. Like, I could have skipped it. But you guys convinced me to stick it out, so, and I haven't missed one yet.
You have?
I haven't missed.
Haven't you?
No,
You
I
missed
did.
one.
I did miss
Missed
one,
one.
and I came in halfway through the other one that I was about to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, it just depends, man, like, how you feel about it in the end, and if you feel that it's going to be worth it.
I think, like, sometimes it's okay that it's not gonna be just like, it's like starting a business or doing a health thing or whatever the frick it is. Sometimes it's just like you're just going to get through the day, and it's going to happen, and it doesn't have to be a win. And you might look back and be like, yeah, I really didn't have to do that, and that's okay. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's always this happy ending to the movie, you know, but sometimes it's, maybe it'll make more sense later on, or maybe it won't make any sense at all, you know. I think my reason for having you come in was just the fact just to keep your mind off the shit, because, you know, after the hour, you still got the rest of the day to get through, and at least you had an hour to not be in that crap that you're going to be living in for the next, you know, till you go to bed tonight.
Yeah, I got 2 weeks. I heard that's how long it takes to kind of like get past that hump, and then you hit the dip. All right. So.
Yeah, you'll be fun for the next couple of weeks. I hate to be your wife.
Note to self, don't message.
So bad for my kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't put food in your mouth? Dad, I just wanted you to tuck me in a bed. I'm like, what?
Like, I'm still arguing about before. I'm still angry. God, I need a cigarette.
Like, yeah.
Like, why is Daddy yelling at us?
Your wife's like, I told you, I apologize. You were right. I know you said it, I was right. I still want to fight about it, though.
Yeah.
Maybe this would be like the thing when your kids are 16 and they want to have a cigarette. They'll stop each other like, wait, do you remember how Dad was when he quit? They're like, yeah, we can't do this.
Yeah.
You know me, I was thinking positive.
All right, well, there we go.
How did we not know about these effects earlier?
I don't know. Gideon like finds all the little things in there. So, anyways, I guess let's wrap it up. Since that apparently no one's listening anymore, we have crickets. Let's wrap this up because I think we've gone from like the kind of out of bounds but good and kind of insightful and like showing behind the scenes of our lives and our business to at this point I think we're just gonna digress into random silliness. So let's keep our online reputation going, you know, strong, guys. Right, Mike? So
how many people watched today? Let's be transparent.
Right now, 1. But we don't really get
100? That's amazing.
Yes. 100,000. I thought you meant like how many thousand? 1,000.
Gideon's grown a beard and has a monocle now.
No, all of our views are. We don't get a lot of live views. Apparently, 1 p.m. on Tuesday is a really bad time.
Was it usually afterwards? Is it?
Yeah. Like we'll normally get like 1 or 2 or 3 or so, and then like afterwards, like I'll check it like 2 days later, and then it's like jumped up. The views jump way up. We don't get a lot of live views, so there may be a timing issue. I don't know. Like again, if I went and did the research, there may be a good reason to that. I'm guessing that again.
Maybe we should do these at night.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my nights doing this.
Then that'll keep you. He's too busy drinking. He doesn't want to come on these.
That's right.
Oh, jeez, guys. Okay.
These things are awesome.
Let's wrap this up. Anyone want to do any kind of shout out or anything, or do we want to just end this?
That's why I ended. That's why I ended.
Put him on suicide watch after that comment.
It's like nobody. Wow.
Just hear like a gunshot, and then like Gideon's screen goes black. They're like, "Oh, that ended poorly."
He finally ended it. Okay, so if you haven't already, go check out. Go on Facebook, search Entrepreneurs Roundtable, join the group. Some great stuff going in there. A lot of great resources. Every now and then we get some spam. I had one guy post the same message 3 times within a period of not very long, so he may be getting kicked out soon. But other than that, you're completely welcome, and we have a lot of great feedback and stuff going on. Also, check out, wow, how did you do that?
Focus.
There's the background.
I thought I was like, how did you make your background? Okay, it was a blur. Yeah, so check it out. If you want to know more about us, feel free to find us on Facebook and follow our links. We're not going to make it easy for you this week. Or right there, paytheright.com. Go back and see Gideon's. Mine's bizdevheroes.com. And that's it for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
And we're either going to be doing, I got to now go back and check out the schedule. We're either going to be going back and doing the hot seat with Gideon, or we also have, we're planning on doing an expanded roundtable with a handful of people talking actually specifically about Periscope. So I got.
we are going to have the ex-CEO
That's true. Yes.
of Babies R Us on the show in August. So this is Dave Shanebeck, who was my old business coach, and he was given the initiative to start, because we're at Toys R Us, they had an initiative to start Babies R Us, and he headed the ship, and he grew it to be a $3 billion company. So that will be a pretty good one.
So hopefully he knows a thing or two about business. We'll see, though.
Yeah.
You know it's bad when the drum rolls like 5 times funnier than the actual joke. Okay, guys. We will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.